So we have a new design and we want to get the chain. So the chain's dead easy. We go into insert. We go to insert McAllister parts there. We type in chain there. We then pick what sort of chain we want. Well, I just want a standard chain, and I just went for a light duty chain, and I chose a small one. Doesn't matter what size you have. And then when you come down, you got a choice of downloads. Now with Fusion, I use 3D step, download it, and there's the chain. And now I can move that chain around in my drawing. I can resize it if need be, highlight it, modify, scale, and I can alter the scale of it. So we'll make it twice as small, 0.5, and there it is, smaller. If I want to make it longer, all I've got to do is you copy, you create a copy, and copy it, and I can just link it together. It's as simple as that. And you can edit this chain if you want to. Take a link out, whatever. Now I'm not sure how that would print. I've never tried it. I don't. Yeah. I only put this in to show you the McAllister stuff. The beautiful part is with McAllister, of course, which is what I have done, is, and I have printed them, is you can download a bolt. Say we'll just pick one at random. Where's it gone? Fully threaded one. And oops. And then 3D step download.
What is 3D step?
3D step is a file format that Fusion uses.
Okay.
Other programs use it as well. So there's our bolt there, look. Why draw it? It's there ready for you.
Yeah. Well.
There's all sorts of things on that site. I don't use the insert manufacturer part. That goes off to manufacturers' catalogs that are quite unreliable. But the McAllister one is very good. You can see you got a hole point. You got little grub screws you can use. Threaded inserts there. And now I've used them in the past, not to print, but when I've been making things that I needed a threaded insert, it's handy to download the threaded insert, because then you've got the right size that you can then insert in your drawing. Oops, where'd it go? I deleted it. There it is. So whilst I wouldn't print it, that's handy to put, if I'm making a box, for example, and I want little threaded inserts to screw the lid on, I can download them, put them in place, and actually see how the whole thing fits together. But that's a very good site for all sorts of hardware, but as I say, for threads in particular, washers, all those sort of things, because the beauty of Fusion, which I personally find it certainly has the edge on over anything else I've used, is the fact that you can download these parts, you can build up proprietary and 3D parts together and actually animate them to make sure they all work, check your clearances and so forth. And for that, a catalogue of that nature is very useful. Right.
So I have a question about bolts and female threads. When you combine the two together, say you're doing a 1/4 inch bolt with a certain thread pattern and a 1/4 inch hole that's the same thing, when you actually build them, do you have to resize one slightly so there's room for it to screw in?
Yes, you do, and the amount of resizing will depend a lot on your printer, if you're printing them. If I am producing holes, like if I'm producing, forget the threaded inserts, if I'm producing a hole in plastic that I want threaded, I will produce that hole to the tap size, and I will tap that hole out with a mechanical tap. I won't try and print it. You can't print this small stuff, really. So therefore, if I was doing, say, a 3mm tapped hole, for example, and I was going to put a 3mm bolt in to hold a lid on, I would make the hole 2.8mm and then run a 3mm tap down it when it's all finished, and then that's okay. The only time I would change that routine is if I'm doing resin printing and I want to tap a hole, I run the tap down the hole before you harden the resin. It's a lot easier to do it than do it after you've hardened the resin. But on PLA, on filament printing, it doesn't matter. But as I say, if you're doing what I've done is mass-produced PCB spacers, and then I bought a pile of brass threaded inserts and popped them in. I don't know if I think I only deleted one the other day from here to make a bit of room. There's not one on there now. Okay, Bill.
Thank you.
And threaded rod or studs, if you want to do a stud, for example, you can just go on there, pick the size you want, whatever it happens to be, or let's just say that one for the sake of argument, download. And Fusion is 3D, but there's other ones there as well. Download it, and it will come on there in a minute. Oh, it's gone black, which means it's gone on and goes slow. Probably a big bolt, that's why. But then you can, alter it to suit yourself. So there it is in there. Look, we'll move it about to where we want it, and click OK. Now, if we need to move it further, highlight it, and you can, we need it on an angle. Okay, have it on an angle.
So Russ, how do you extend the length of a threaded rod?
The length.
How do you extend the length?
You can't extend the length of it because when you highlight a face, you just extend that face. So the way I would do it, if you're doing it for purely, hang on, let me get a shot of this blimmin' chain. It's driving me nuts. If you're using it purely for modeling purposes, then the way I would do it is this. Let's just let me just go back. Whoops. Redo white. Get rid of the chain. Okay, so I want to make that one longer. What I would do, if it's for modeling purposes only, I would highlight it. Get out the way. Highlight there. I would say create copy, and I would just drag another one down here like that. There I have my longer one. And there's your diameters there.
Yeah.
And there's your diameters. There's your length. So you got a 1 foot section there. So the answer is to download a 1 foot section and then just chop off the bit you want.
Except you wouldn't have the taper on the end, would you?
Yeah, you could put the taper on the end. That's an easy one to do with the tape with the chamfer tool. That's not a problem.